present that would like to speak?
No good cops, no good precedent. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good precedent. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops in a racist system.
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 Move streets.
Duwamish streets.
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 Yes, these are Duwamish streets. Yep. We are all standing on Duwamish territory. Everyone who's in Seattle or the King County area, this is all Duwamish territory. This is all Duwamish land.
No,
This land was taken from the Duwamish people.
this is having a hard time with the sound.
Just taking a moment to acknowledge the fact that we're all on stolen land. This land was never given over. This was never handed over. It was stolen. This land was taken.
And the Duwamish still don't have federal recognition
Can't do it.
as a tribe. So they are not allotted any of the rights that other tribes are allotted in this land.
If the Duwamish were given federal recognition, they would have rights to the land. If the government doesn't acknowledge their existence, they can continue to use Seattle in any way they want, destroying the land and making it unfishable. You can't hunt here, you can't fish here. This is a port city and the land has been destroyed. Whose land?
Duwamish land.
Whose land?
Duwamish land.
Whose land?
Duwamish land!
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 Whose land?
Duwamish land.
Whose land?
Duwamish land.
Whose land?
Duwamish land.
Need a park? Yeah. They're trying to go down this hill. Be careful.
You're going to the house?
We're going on the hill? Oh my.
I feel like I'd rather go down over here.
Thank you. We're going Prince. We're going Prince. We're like, oh, yeah, if you drink way better.
That was funny. Everybody made it.
Woman Street!
Whose streets?
Woman Street!
Whose streets?
Woman Street!
Whose streets?
Woman Street!
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
Whose streets? Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
Whose streets? 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 Whose streets?
Duwamish streets!
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 No good cops in a racist system.
No good cops in a racist system!
No good cops in a racist system.
No good cops in a racist system!
No good cops. No good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops! No good president! Give the land back to the OG residents!
No good cops. No good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops! No good president! Give the land back to the OG residents! Black lives matter!
Who else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives matter!
Who else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives matter!
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter!
Who else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives matter!
Who else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives matter!
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter!
Indigenous lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter!
Immigrant lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter!
All right. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Sick bill.
Okay. We can help.
Cat. Hey, Robin.
Oh, it's wet.
It doesn't.
Okay, so this week. Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
This week in police brutality and murder, what do we have?
We
had a murder, Genoa Donald, down in Clark County. Any of you ever been pulled over for a broken taillight? How many of you have gotten out of that ticket if you have been? How many of you were allowed to drive home? He did not. He made it a week on life support. They took him off yesterday, and he's dead. 4 cops surrounded that man's car, and he didn't make it out alive. No weapons in his car. Fucking, I don't know if he had a criminal history. Doesn't matter if he did. He was pulled over for a fucking broken taillight. That man shouldn't be dead right now. Guess who are probably gonna walk? Those cops. They won't be held up on murder charges. They won't be held up for accountability. Just like the 2 cops in Buffalo, New York, who pushed over an elder man this last summer. They were acquitted this week. No charges. Grand jury let them go. But we see how in cities like Denver, who instituted a mental health squad to go out onto calls, they've had 283 since June. Not one time have the cops had to be called into an incident where those people were there first. So you can't tell me that this model of revision or of restorative justice isn't a worthy one or isn't worth a shot. How many money, like I was talking to people before the march, how many thousands, millions of dollars have we poured into cop funds throughout the course of the United States in history in each city? Yet crime hasn't slowed down at all. Cops don't stop crime, right? People still end up fucking dead. So what are we paying for? We're paying for terrorists to exist in our city. City council this week was debating about, because Shawant was the only one who voted no on this, about loopholes to go into bringing back in weapons used in war, tear gas, rubber bullets, into what the cops will spin as peaceful, unpeaceful, unlawful protest, so that they of my white fucking skin. My native brothers and sisters who have dark skin are not getting out of their tickets. They're being sent to jail. My native cousins are also being sent to jail if they walk out of that shit alive. I can count 7 times. Not because I manipulated my way out of the goddamn ticket. I told him exactly what I was doing. Officer, I was speeding. He looked at me many times, different cops, and said, just watch your speed, ma'am. Why is it that I get a walk?
White privilege.
I have white fucking privilege. Plain and simple. There's no other reason. That's why I didn't go to jail for my drug abuse and my alcoholism. I didn't spend years in the penal system. I have been to jail, but I didn't spend the same years in the penal system as my native brothers and sisters, as my friends back on the reservation. Because of my white fucking skin. That's the only reason. And because sometimes I can talk pretty, right? I sound maybe articulate. I sound like I speak the nice English way, the proper way. I don't talk back if I'm confronted because I got all this fucking PTSD from colonization that I go into a freeze or flight space and I can't talk back. Right? So I do what I have to do in that moment to keep my life safe. And it's still not right, because like I said, people are ending up dead when I get to walk away. When anybody else here white, over there at Seatown, enjoy your cocktails, people. I don't know how many people over there have gotten out of tickets, or have been guilty of extortion in their companies, or have exploited their employees, or haven't stood up for racism when it's been happening in the workplace. But I guarantee you it's happened. Maybe not the customers, maybe not the wait staff. The wait staff probably work way too hard and aren't paid well enough for it. I'm sure they don't have the benefits they deserve. But when it comes down to it, we're on very expensive territory right here. And that's why the city of Seattle will not seek tribal recognition for the Duwamish is because that right there, that fucking port, brings in a lot of money every year. If they gave that back to Duwamish, they would lose all that cash. There's no way. There's no way. Yes, it would cripple the citizens of Seattle. I get where that's unfair. I get where there's plenty of people in the minority are the Duwamish, so why should the many pay for the rights of a few? But think about it. When does it change? When do we stop fighting for the minority and making sure that they have the rights that they need? Because they're dying in poverty and destitution while the rest of the city can thrive. Not whose land is it? It's whose land is it?
Duwamish.
Duwamish land! This is Duwamish land. Plain and simple. I'll read a poem that somebody put out on Social Distance Powwow. You can join the group, it's on Facebook. But if you do and you're not native, just sit back and watch things. Anybody's welcome to join it. But again, it is a native space. One of the very few that natives have in this country. So unless you're called on to respond to something, just sit back and watch and observe. All right. The struggle of an Indian. I don't give a fuck about your pipeline. I don't give a fuck about your oil sands. I don't give a fuck about your money. I'm a fucking Indian. This government and its people have been fucking my people for hundreds of years. You know what scares me? Stepping out my front door because the color of my skin in the country I live in and am from. Why? Because of the racism I deal with every day. I'm labeled a thief. Your government continues to take what it wants, and I'm labeled a thief. A monster because I can't handle my emotions, because no one taught us how. We are victims of the residential school, and it's going to take 7 generations to fix how fucked up we are, and I'm one of the first generations. I've had nothing. In my own country, I'm in the lowest castes. I'm an untouchable. We thought that shit only existed in India. Nope. And that goes for any black and brown person in this country. There is a caste system here. I don't care what anybody says. Our kids are out of control because our parents didn't teach us control, because the system had broken them. We are lost without identity, culture, and tradition. We try and change, but then we make mistakes. You try and use your disposability culture to punish us. You want me to be political? Do like we do. Take care of your people. Quit worrying about semantics and all the other technical bullshit. Just take care of your people. This country wants to start reconciliation. Start by respecting our traditions and practice some with us. The way we take care of our communities is what we should focus on. I don't care about your money, power, or greed. I'm a fucking Indian. So what if the oil sands created some jobs for my people? It destroyed our lands at the same time. The money made us greedy and ugly. The money divided our people. We let our people die on the streets while we sit in our homes stuck in greed. Fuck your politics, government, and broken ideals. Start taking care of your people like we used to. Do not label me with far left or right. I hate all government. All government has failed indigenous people. I'm about the people in the land. Simple. I live with principles and care for the people. I have every right to be angry, so don't fucking tone police me. If you don't like my use of the word Indian, this man was from Canada, tell the Canadian government to take it off my fucking status card. That's how the natives are feeling right now. We can't do much about our situation because we're tied into all these fucking reservation laws and sovereignty issues, like I shared about last week. William Rehnquist gutted the Voting Rights Act. He gutted Native American laws that protected them. And then John Roberts followed his legacy. This starts at the bottom and works its way up to the top, like we saw today with the impeachment verdict. People did not care after we saw all that footage, after we saw all that proof about what Donald Trump did. 4 months, it did not faze those Republican goddamn senators. Instead, they're celebrating that man. Just take all that into consideration. Colby, you got anything to say?
We won Oklahoma.
Say it
We
again.
won Oklahoma. We need more wins like Oklahoma.
Yes. What happened in Oklahoma?
It's like half of Oklahoma is native territory.
Right. Yet, there are still
They
local
won.
governments that are fighting
Sure.
what happened in Oklahoma. So you got to keep your eye on every win that
Amen.
natives get. because we only get a half of a win, and then white government takes it back. So local governor has gone into those Oklahoma, that particular win that the Supreme Court gave us, and started guiding it right after it happened. Sorry, Colby.
Most of those people have been moved from their actual homeland.
Right.
To Oklahoma in the first place.
Right. Hundreds of miles. Dying of disease. Sick people in the fucking wintertime when nobody should be marching. Those people were marched from the East Coast to Oklahoma, where nobody wants to live because it's barren land. Nothing really can grow there. It's not pretty, I guess. I have not been to Oklahoma and I don't know if I will. But when it comes down to it, it's not land that people want to be in or people would be there. We got all the shit land is what we got. We got whatever was left over that nobody wanted.
Still trying to push us off of that.
同埋唔同嘅機構係多種類嘅信仰機構一齊喺度去分享佢哋嘅心聲，係分享佢哋嘅心聲嚟，我哋點樣可以冇？
had food and I had a parking lot. And literally, and I kid you not, I don't go to church every Sunday. I don't know why I was chosen to be this person. I do believe in God. But I'm going to tell you that my bookkeeper said, Angela, you're not going to make it. We've been taking a loss since this happened. Do not do the outdoor patio. Close. Close. And he said, file bankruptcy and close. And my mom in Indiana said, come back home to Indiana. And I said, I can't do it to my community. I have plaques on the walls, people that have sat in booths since the 80s. These are my community, my people, my staff. This is the only job they've ever known in the kitchen. Their whole family works in the kitchen. So I said, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down big. Let's take out the SBA loan and we'll live off that. And F it. I'll file bankruptcy big if that's what's going to happen and just pray for a miracle. And so I think building the patio that month was the hardest time, you guys. I'm trying to do it with no money. I'm out there, a woman. I'm lifting things. I'm begging people to do things. And what kept me going is the neighborhood. People would literally drive by and honk their horn and clap and say, thank you for keeping the community together. Keep going, keep going. And so I did. And then we hit a heat wave. Again, I took a loss in August. I took a loss in September. October came and I was back to hiring people. I actually saw a profit and I said, you know what? I am the cockroach they will not get rid of. I will stand here until the last man standing. They are not going to shut us down. This means too much to my staff and myself and my community. And so I thought, wow, in October, I won. I seen a profit. This is going to be great. 2 days before Thanksgiving, I've now hired 3 new staff. Governor Mussolini is what we call him in my pub, announces
Santa Monica,
that he's
California.
shutting us down the night before Thanksgiving. The night before Thanksgiving, after tens of thousands of dollars spent on food, in a beautiful patio that is safer than anywhere in the United States. I'm sorry. My tables are 7 feet apart. They're outside. They don't even have tracking or science on outdoor dining. And the science for indoor is 1%. They freaking lie to you. They don't tell you the real information, which is why Mark Garagos is my attorney and why he beat LA County. And God bless him. God bless him. But I had to look at my staff, single parents, people with families who are already scraping by from what we've had to endure, and tell them 2 days before Thanksgiving, I'm sorry, guys, I can't do to go. Because my bookkeeper said, if you do to go, we'll go through the loan money so fast, we'll never reopen. So I literally had to shut us down 2 days before the holidays. And I was devastated. But I'm always trying to be the leader. I'm always like, it's okay, guys. We're going to come back. We'll come back when they open the patio. It'll be all right. I said, come back in 2 weeks, in a week and a half. It's a bi-weekly payroll, right? Come back. I'll give you your check. But don't worry. I always figure it out. I'll figure it out. I didn't know what I was going to do. My bookkeeper said, we're not going to make it past January.
Okay.
But wasn't going to tell them that. That's not what a leader does. You have to have faith, and you have to do things for the right things and for the truth. And just know somehow the universe or God is going to catch you, which is what I was doing, but I was scared. So a week later, I came in and I pull into my parking lot, and right next to my outdoor dining is a 200-person tent with a food catering truck for the movie industry. And my staff, Ben, who's worked for me for years, his little boy, and they were in there waiting for me, and a friend of mine came because I was doing my first protest. You guys, apathy. I've never done a protest in my life until now. I did not vote for the governor because I did not vote. And small businesses were so busy trying to keep up with all the rules and fines and regulations that we don't get involved. We have apathy because we're exhausted. And we figure, well, it's all going to work out. So I walk into the bar, and Ben says to me, did you see what was outside? And I said, yeah, I did. He said, Ange, he could see it in my face. He said, it's going to be okay. And I went to turn on the light, and I just started crying. I said, no, it is not okay. This is not okay what they're doing to California. It is not okay what they're doing to our small businesses, what they're doing to our children who are not in school. This is not okay anymore. It's not okay. And I said to my girlfriend, Liz, I said, I don't know how to film. I'm not even good at social media. I have like a little Facebook and Insta that my bartenders post on. I said, follow me. I have to show the neighborhood that I love them. I'm not speaking out because I don't believe in COVID. I'm not speaking out because I don't care. I need them to know, because I have sat and at my patio listened to my fellow business owners tell me that they were done. It was over. And I kept going, oh, just survive, Angela. Just survive. Just survive. And as I'm doing that, I'm watching the people I love go out of business. I should have been doing this with you guys in the beginning, but I didn't know, and I apologize to you all for that. And I thank you for talking to anybody you can to get those signatures. And I just couldn't take it. She followed me and I filmed it, and it is by the grace of God. And I kid you not, there were two very big people on Twitter that somehow saw it. I have no idea. And that is how it got all the attention. And at that moment, I just said, I can't be silent anymore. And God, I don't even know what to say, but please just speak through me, because people have to know what's going to happen to our community. They are going to come out after COVID, and no one is going to be here. No jobs are going to be here. This is the homeless. I had a homeless man jump through my to-go window. I mean, begging every day for food. So I'm here supporting the recall. And Joe Collins, thank you for having me. And I will speak and do whatever it takes to, number one, get Gavin Newsom out of office, Mussolini. And why? Why is this important? When you talk to, I want to tell you, I am now a signing station. People drive from Tarzana, from Woodland Hills. I had an 80-year-old woman who hasn't been out but 2 times who drove to sign because of the vaccination rollout. We all have our different reasons, right? But they're all our real reasons. And there's a lot of Democrats and a lot of Republicans, and it's not about politics, it's about people. People. And so I thank you, and talk to your small business owners, because most of them are afraid. They're afraid you won't support them. They're afraid. They're tired. And a lot of us are struggling with PTSD. We're losing everything. Everything. I have 10 business owners that I know of. I invited them out. I had 50 show up. 50. So it is crucial that you guys talk to people, put the politics aside, let people, if they want to wear a mask, but talk to them like people, because we're all suffering. It's just a matter of when we're going to tell somebody and feel safe enough to make that jump. And let me tell you, people are ready to make that jump. And it's because of you guys that small businesses have a chance. Not the ones like us that are, I'm hopping in December. You know, so thank you so much for listening to my story. And I hope that you can share this story. And I hope that you can get more and more signatures. Again, I'm getting about 10 pages a week, and they're driving from all over. And you would be surprised. Doesn't matter their party, doesn't matter their race. People know they want California back. And Gavin Newsom, we need to show him that he works for us. And that way, anybody in those offices, guess what? They're going to think twice before they do this to us again. And that's all I have to say. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hey, I'm a mute between them playing music.
I want people to know that the COVID-19 is coronavirus. Coronavirus is the common cold, the common flu. Did Obama and Biden shut down the United States with you guys intended when there was Ebola, bird flu, and swine flu? No, he did not do that. But what he is doing is he has an agenda, and their agenda is if they're indoctrinating us to wear masks. If we wear masks and they can get us to do that, they're going to get us to do everything else. So I just want people.
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets.
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets.
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets.
Land back!
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 Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Water is a human right.
Water is a human right.
Oil's not a human right.
Oil's not a human right.
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Water is a human right.
Water is a human right.
Oil's not a human right.
Oil's not a human right.
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Water is a human right.
Water is a human right.
Oil's not a human right.
Oil's not a human right.
You want to talk about them while we walk?
When we get back.
Okay.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make the system fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make the system fall.
Every city, every town, burn the system to the ground.
Every city, every town, burn the system to the ground.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make the system fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make the system fall.
Every city, every town, burn the system to the ground.
Every city, every town, burn the system to the ground.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make the system fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make the system fall.
Every city, every town, burn the system to the ground.
Every city, every town, burn the system to the ground.
No cops, no prisons, total abolition.
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 Defund SPD, how much?
100% at least.
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 No good cops in a racist system.
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 No good cops. No good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives
Who
matter.
else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives
Who
matter.
else's lives matter?
Immigrant lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter.
Immigrant lives matter.
Immigrant lives matter.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Who else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives matter.
Who else's lives matter? Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter.
Immigrant lives matter.
Immigrant lives matter.
Whose lives matter? Who else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives matter.
Who else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives matter.
Whose streets?
Woman streets.
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 Whose streets?
Duwamish 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 streets.
When a black man is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When an indigenous man is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When an immigrant life is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When a black woman is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When an indigenous woman is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When an immigrant woman is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When a black life is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When an indigenous life is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When an immigrant life is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When a black life is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When an indigenous life is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
When an immigrant life is under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Who else's lives matter? Who else's lives matter? Black lives matter. Indigenous lives matter. Immigrant lives matter. We're protesting this corrupt government. These 50 states started as 13 colonies. This is a colonial government, the United States government. If you hear me say abolish USA, I'm talking about the United States government. We need some serious restructuring, some serious reform on a major scale, on a revolutionary scale.
This country's illegal. This country's fucking
We need to dismantle these racist systems. We need to do some heavy restructuring. It will take a revolution to get there. We have to band together. We have to band together for life and for this land, for black and indigenous lives, and for the land that we are currently destroying.
It's the only way to
We
survive.
need to fight the system that's currently killing black and indigenous people.
We are the revolution.
No cops, no KKK, abolish USA.
No cops. No KKK. Abolish USA.
No cops, no KKK, abolish USA.
No cops. No KKK. Abolish USA.
We have to dismantle and restructure this government on a revolutionary scale. This government, this corrupt government, is responsible for way too many atrocities from the very beginning all the way to today. Slavery, poverty, genocide, kids in cages, forced sterilization, deforestation, dumping waste in our oceans, in our lakes, nuclear waste sites on native land. We have to dismantle and restructure this government. No cops, no prison, total abolition.
No cops, no prison, total abolition.
No cops, no KKK, abolish USA.
No cops, no KKK, abolish USA.
What's outrageous?
Kids in cages.
What's outrageous?
Kids in cages.
Abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE!
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 Abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE.
You cannot have justice on stolen land.
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 No one is illegal on stolen land.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
You cannot have justice on stolen land.
You cannot have justice on stolen land.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Either that or you're all illegal because you're on stolen land. Whose streets?
Duwamish streets.
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 No good cops in a racist system.
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 No good cops. No good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops. No good presidents. Give the land back to his OG residents.
No good cops. No good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops. No good presidents. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops. No good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops. No good presidents. Give the land back to its OG residents.
No good cops in a racist system.
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 No good cops. No good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops. cops, no good presidents. Give the land back to its OG residents.
No good cops, no good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good presidents. Give the land back to its OG residents.
No good cops in a racist system.
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 No good cops, no good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good presidents. Give the land back to its OG residents.
No good cops, no good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good presidents. Give the land back to the OG residents.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make this system fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make the system fall.
Every city, every town, burn this system to the ground.
Every city, every town, burn the system to the ground.
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets,
Duwamish streets.
Duwamish streets,
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets,
Duwamish streets.
Duwamish streets.
No good cops, no good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good presidents. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good presidents. Give the land back to its OG residents.
No good cops in a racist system.
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 No good cops. No good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good presidents. Give the land back to its OG residents.
No good cops in a racist system.
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 Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Who else's lives matter?
Indigenous lives matter.
Who else's lives matter?
Immigrant lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter.
Immigrant lives matter.
Immigrant lives matter.
Black trans lives matter.
Black trans lives matter.
Native two-spirits matter.
Native two-spirits matter.
Black trans lives matter.
Black trans lives matter.
Native two-spirits matter.
Native two-spirits matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Who else's lives matter? Who else's lives matter?
Immigrant lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter.
Indigenous lives matter.
Immigrant lives matter.
Immigrant lives matter.
Whose streets?
Duwamish streets.
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 No good cops, no good president. Give the land back to the OG residents.
No good cops, no good residents. Back to the OG residents.
Land back.
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 All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming out and marching with us today. I know it's a small group, and I mean, obviously it's snowy. Seriously, I really appreciate everyone who came out to march. It really means a lot. I mean, these issues aren't going to go away just because of some crazy weather, or just because some people decided to stop talking about it, or just because the media is not talking about it, or because we get distracted.
City funding in the tune of $3.2 billion every year. Not million, billion. So why is these tents exploding?
Fixing anything, that real justice still hasn't come for any of the issues that we've been protesting for. Maybe individual cases here and there. Maybe at sometimes, like, case by case, like, but the system as a whole. Like, when we say ACAB, like, we understand that a few of them are, like, decent human beings who are just trying to do their best, but we also understand that the policing as a system is inherently flawed. We understand that, you know, some of them are just human beings just doing their best. Some of them, just a few of them. Majority of them are. See, that's the thing, is that white supremacy has took root in the police system over years. It's a planned thing. They do that on purpose. They know the power that comes with being a police officer. It's systemic. They want to do that. That's how the system is designed. When we say ACAB,
All cops are bastards.
All cops are bastards.
All cops are bastards.
Policing as a whole needs to be restructured. We need to abolish the police and start over. We need to create a new system. A system with actual accountability, where people aren't allowed to kill people just because they have a gun and a badge. And there's this law that says that they could do it. We need a form of community protection that actually protects the community, that actually saves lives, that actually addresses crime in a way that isn't spending millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars patrolling streets, because real crime reduction isn't in the form of more police, it's in the form of resources. And if people have resources, they won't have to commit crimes. When people have food, they won't have to steal food. They won't have to resort to selling drugs. They don't have to resort to doing things that are considered illegal. And we need to restructure our laws. What is legal, what isn't legal is arbitrary. It's all capitalism. It's all money system. It's all designed to suck out as much money as it can from every area. This capitalist racist system has got to go. Everything. We need to abolish the police. We need to start over. Honestly, I'm not even sure what such a system would look like. But all I know is that the current system doesn't work. I mean, honestly, a lot of times it feels like they're already abolished, because they're never there when you actually need them. In my personal experience, anytime I've actually felt like I needed a police officer and I decided to dial 911 and call one, like, they're not there to protect you. They're there to do the paperwork and all the. It's all money. I've never felt protected by a police officer. The whole system's got to go. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming out. Seriously, I really appreciate it. Snow, rain, whatever. I mean, black lives, indigenous lives, immigrant lives, all matter in all conditions. And I mean, there's people who are living in this. We need to do our part in making sure we go out and we check on our houseless neighbors. Prepare food, get blankets, go do what you can if you can do it. Seriously, thank you guys.
I want you to have a good time. So everybody, on the count of 3, we're going to say goodbye, Newsom. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye, Newsom! Thank you for coming out. Turn that music up, Prom. Go enjoy yourself. Everybody, get the hands up!
Resilience and Community Services, Mayor Fisher, whoever is in charge of taking care of the people of Louisville, Kentucky, they need to step up to the plate. They need to figure this out, and they need to stop letting people die. They need to be more responsible and at least support the folks that are here are the folks that have spent 60 plus hours this week in the streets. 60 plus hours this week passing out food and hot chocolate and coffee and tents and tarps and boots and socks and gloves and hats, hand warmers and sterno. And the city did not provide one thing. The only thing that the city of Louisville provided this week was excuses. Yep. Exactly. That is it. And those excuses did not feed one person. Those excuses did not house one person. And what the city did with 6th and Jefferson and put those folks up, they raised the bar. And that bar needs to be met with every single person that is on the streets of Louisville, Kentucky. The way that they figured that out, they need to figure the rest of it out. Stop saying we can't do it and figure it out. And don't say that you're working with people that you're not working with. They ain't talking to us, not about fixing anything. The only thing that they're talking to us about is long-term things that aren't obtainable. They keep giving us brass rings, and we're tired of reaching for them. Our arms are tired from doing the work that they're not doing. They need to at least support us. And if they're not, then I don't really know what else to say. All we got is us. That's it. Thank you.
All they did was tap dance like Gregory Hines.
Hello, my name is Summer Dickerson. I run an organization here in town called Women of the Well. I do a lot of street outreach, been doing it for a long time. You know, how dare we call ourselves a compassionate city if we're just going to sit by and stand by knowing the weather that we got coming soon and sitting here and allowing people to die? Because if we don't house them and we don't put them somewhere, that's exactly what's going to happen. Is the next time we go out to do outreach, we are literally going to find dead bodies. Is that the compassionate city we all say we live in? No, that's not. So it's time to step up and do something, because trust me, a lot of us in the city are just a paycheck away from being in the same predicaments that the people that we serve on a daily basis is. So I am calling on the city to do something, step up and do something. Hotel Louisville, I'm calling on you to step up and do something. We have 90% vacancy. We should have people in there. So, you know, I just wanted to come on and say it's very, very important. And, you know, we need, please, you guys, reach out to Hip Hop Cares and all the people that are up here and donate everything, because we need everything right now, because we are having to come out and replace everything. And then once this storm is over, we're going to have to replace that stuff as well. And again, it's coming out of everybody's personal pockets. The city of Louisville, we're doing, you know, we're doing the right thing. Now you stand up and do the right thing.
Most of these people have already said what needs to be said, and I don't have much of a voice because I've been working much like these people. But I do know, here's my charge to this city and to all these non-profit people making about a quarter meal, that if you have space, we need to put people in these spaces. Here's my charge to Hotel Louisville. Put people in these spaces. Here's my charge to Wayside. Clean that shit up so we can get people in these spaces. Here's my charge to every person who can do something, every person who has a building, every person who has an Airbnb, every person who has a vacant house. Here is my charge to you. Do something. I don't know, I'm not really expecting the people who oppress us to save us. So my call is for people, ordinary people. And you know what we can do? Ordinary people who come together and make something happen can do extraordinary work. So here's my call. If you have an Airbnb, if you got a church, if you got a gym, Hotel Louisville, open these places up, because we need to get people housed. We don't want anybody to die. But we can have record numbers We got a storm coming. We already been in the storm, and there's another storm coming. Here's my charge to you. Open up these doors. Open up these rooms. We got work to do. I ain't relying on no city government. What I'm relying on is the power of the people, because that's what it's always been. And these people, we've been working. But I know what ordinary people can do. Here is my charge. Ordinary people with Airbnbs, people who are living real comfortable in our houses with our temperatures at 73 degrees. Here is my charge to you. Open up your spaces. Do what you can. And I dare the public health department to come and give you a fine, because we're going to pull together and pay that fine. Do what you can with what you can. That's the city that we live in. The Hope Bus, we know what people can do. We've done it. We've done it over the course of it. We know what people can do. Here is my charge to you. Compassionate Louisville. Let's get real compassionate. Let's set the example. And it starts with us, because ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
What's your name real quick?
Stay Shell Bussy.
Can you say that in the mic?
Stay Shell Bussy with the Hope Bus.
All right, thank you.
Listen, and donate to all these organizations. There is so many organizations represented up here who are spending thousands, who are going to spend thousands this week trying to make sure that our most vulnerable population is taken care of. Hip Hop Cares, Feed Louisville. What's the name of?
Women of the Well.
Who?
Jacob's Ladder.
Jacob's Ladder.
Forgotten Louisville.
Forgotten Louisville. Women of the Well. Hip Hop.
Over here.
Who?
Elvis Kitchen. Elvis Kitchen.
Elvis Kitchen.
Food security.
Food security. And all of us, and make no mistake, none of us just started this work this week. We've been doing this work. We need you, Louisville. We need you. Hear what I'm saying to you. We need you. We need you to step up this week. Whatever you have, do what you can. Send donations, PayPal, Cash App, drop off checks to all of these people up here who are doing work. Listen, ordinary people can do extraordinary work when we have a common goal. Our common goal is to save lives this week. That's what we need to do.
Stand up, Louisville! We got work to do.
Do you spell your name with your last name with one L or two? Two. All right, thanks.
Hotel Louisville, open your doors.
Hotel Louisville.
Thanks, everybody.
Sir?
Yes.
I got it right here. Paper and a pen.
Y'all know what we doing.
Numbers to 911 this week. Do you guys all have it? Okay, we're gonna make sure you get it. While he looks for that, I have very little battery, but I'm gonna look for it.
Okay, it's reimagining our crisis response system for behavioral health emergencies. House Bill HB 1477. And so a little list beneath this I'll share with you. If you've ever called 911 for a behavioral health emergency, you know there are only two choices, police or fire. We're reimagining a system where mobile crisis response for behavioral health emergencies is available to everyone when you call a 3-digit emergency number. In July 2022, the FCC will implement the new 3-digit mental health emergency hotline, 988. That means right now in 2021 is our chance to create a new behavioral health crisis response, meaning right now we have session going. It's started January, February, and March. So these are the times where we reach out to our representatives. If anybody wants to call, talk to the representatives, just like this. That's very important. That's part of the legislation and policy. They hear us in the streets, but they need to hear us out there in their big fancy offices and buildings, also. Every single voice matters. Every single voice matters. They need to hear from their constituents. So, we're proposing a system where calls are answered by highly trained crisis workers and dispatched by 988 for calls related to people in mental health distress, people under the influence, individuals experiencing houselessness, and other circumstances that require care but not the law. There's broad support among law enforcement officers for this change. They're frequently called upon to respond to behavioral health crisis without the training, background, or service resources to successfully get people the help they need in that moment of crisis. They respond because they have to, because there's no one else. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to do things differently. We're advocating for reimagining our crisis response system using 988 as a mechanism for mobile crisis responders. That includes funding crisis response adequately through a telecom fee, similar to how we fund our current 9/11 services. And a response system that centers the needs of people in crisis and a system that saves lives. So we don't want any bystanders. We want to get all of our people helped. We want to make sure nobody's caught in the crossfires and nobody gets taken away, you know, just to go to jail like they feel they need to, you know. So that's one. There's another bill preventing overdose deaths. That's Senate Bill 5195. This bill would ensure providers prescribe and immediately provide naloxone in addition to referral services from a substance use disorder peer specialist to people presenting at an emergency department for opioid overdose. And then there's one, Building Pathways to Recovery, HB 1499. When someone is facing a behavioral health disorder, we believe the appropriate intervention is help, not handcuffs. So substance use disorder is one of the only health conditions where you can be arrested for merely displaying the symptoms. And you know how many people don't do drugs that just have some depression or some mental health disparages, you know? There was a post a friend shared, a cousin shared, I think, in Eugene, where there was a white woman in her 30s, who she just had, you know, she was sober, but she had like mental wellness issues, and she froze to death in January 26, 2020. She froze to death in her car trying to survive and live. Eugene, Oregon. So, I mean, sometimes people won't help if they show signs of addiction. You know, we want to get them help. And that's what these type of things do. If anybody needs help or assistance and reaching out to their representatives, I'm happy to talk. And I think we want to do that in groups. We wanted to get that ready for possibly next year as well, and maybe this year if we can. I think you were sharing a poem, and I want to share a poem too.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody's heard it. I'll go with it. Okay. Roses are red. Has anybody heard this? Roses are red. No lives are blue. Defund the police. Abolish ICE too. Woo! Woo! Thank you, Sarah Epperson. Here it goes.
Yes.
Gorashish, how do they sing? Speditachov. Thank you all for being here. And
you guys know that the King County Sheriff was fired this week for the all lives splatter comment? Yeah. And that it was a fire department worker that was found to have sent racist emails to Shama Sawant. So don't think that fucking fire department is off the hook here. Like in city services, racism prevails. Do you want to show that photo to the?
Just last side note before we actually leave. RealRentDuwamish.org. If you are not already part of that, sign up. If you're not Duwamish, you are on Duwamish land, and Real Rent Duwamish funds cultural stuff, and it's for the Duwamish people. So look that up. RealRentDuwamish.org.
1477. It's the alternative 988 number instead of police and fire.
Just do your research. DuwamishTribe.org. There's a lot of great links in there. Do your research. Learn about the land.
$1 a month if that's what you have. We'll fucking take whatever.
Right. But yeah, if you're interested in paying back the Duwamish people for partaking in the use of their land, RealRentDuwamish.org. Thank you guys for coming out. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. It was a nice snowy march.
Thank you.
What else would we be doing on a Saturday afternoon?
佢哋所受到啲創傷，佢所受到啲經歷，好多時候我哋係唔知道嘅。作為一個菲律賓人，菲律賓嘅美國人，佢亦都經歷咗好多我哋。
Oh yeah, and the Venmo for the group is down right now.
There's quite a bit of accumulation.
Right now we just have the Cash App. If you guys like to support the group at all, the Cash App is DDL2021. If you guys like to support that. Also, just a side note, another last side note again. If you guys could go to Instagram and follow Tigaru events. There's a genocide happening right now in Tigray, and that is it's a crisis. It's an international crisis. We need international attention brought to that. We can't let another genocide of people be swept under the rug. Over 100 days in Tigray now, they've been experiencing massacres, man-made famine. They've cut electricity and internet. It's really horrible what's going on over there right now. And so Tigaru Events, T-E-G-A-R-U, I believe. I think that's how you spell it, events. Also, just look up the hashtags. Do your research. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and that's one of the issues, more recent issues that people need to bring attention to and make sure that we talk about, because they have a dictator over there who's waging war on his own people, and that really needs to be talked about, and attention needs to be brought to that. So in your free time, do your research, look that up, figure out how you can help, find reliable places to donate to that are actually helping people over there right now. And so I can't tell you who to give money to. Just do your research, find out how you can help in any way, because there's a lot going on.
And things might be fucked here, but at least we can talk about it.
Yeah. Black Lives Matter everywhere, all around the world. So.
Yeah. They don't have access to cameras, like they're not able to get the word out. It's a really intense and kind of sickening situation, so at least we're able to get out in the streets and we're not killed immediately for it. Maybe one day.
Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
One last announcement?
Yeah. I guess this is Asian related, but
Another announcement?
So everyone, this February 1st, Aung San Suu Kyi, the leader of Burma, she has been overthrown by a bunch of juntas and in Burma. So if any of you are familiar with Burma,
cộng đồng Á Châu của mình bị ảnh hưởng bởi cái sự bạo lực. Trước khi ông Eddie á, ông không có biết rằng là những cộng đồng khác bị kỳ thị luôn, thì ông chỉ muốn lấy cái thời gian này để cho ông cảm ơn vì cái tình bạn á mà ông có thể hiểu cái sự đau đớn và sự bực bội và cái sự kỳ thị trong cộng đồng Á Châu.
You know, I got an 80-year-old sister that's at home, and I'm a primary caregiver. So I really do respect elders. She walked me to kindergarten, and I'm in the process of walking her to the grave. I respect that. You know, I opened up a place over here in Oakland called the Freedom and Movement Center. You know, because sometimes we talk about we need to get to know each other. One of the first things I put in the building was the ancestral wall. You know, because like I think that we need to respect our elders to the degree that when they pass, we keep holding their memories alive. On that wall is Fred, who fought for against internment. He hangs on that wall. And he hangs on that wall with Malcolm. He hangs on that wall with Martin. He hangs on that wall with George Jackson. You know, I also got Yori, who cradled Malcolm in his last dying breath. She was holding him. You know, so we getting there, putting them on the wall, is that, you know what, we become safer when I can't see my sister Joyce, who's 80 years old, as their ancestor. So maybe if I hang these people on the wall, they'll see your people as my ancestors too. So like, you know, that's what I came up here to say.
So let's go out with all of us chants, all of us in Nine style.
All right.
Turn up the chant.
All of us! All of us! All of us! All of us!
All right, everybody. Again, it's getting a little chilly, but our hearts are full, and we're wrapping up the program right now. And next we have our spectacular Zach Norris, ED of the Ella Baker Center. My brain is just going because it's just too much excitement. So please give Zach Norris a round of applause. Xin chào một tràng pháo tay cho ông Zach Norris, là giám đốc của trung tâm Ella Baker Center, và ông sẽ nói vài lời để cho lên án cái sự mà bạo lực trong cộng đồng của mình.
Y'all hear me?
Nope.
Y'all hear me?
Can you hear me now? All right. I'm just gonna say we keep, 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 we keep. My parents were born in San Francisco. I was born in San Francisco. We moved to Oakland when I was a week old. I like to say I was a week too late because I love Oakland just that much. I love all of y'all just that much. And that's why I stand here with a heavy heart, because we keep us safe, y'all. And that means we got to hold each other accountable. And that doesn't just mean the folks who committed these terrible acts of violence. It means holding each other accountable to understanding the system that we are up against. Because when I was little and I was coming up, we used to play this game. They called it musical chairs. And so you would walk around the chairs. Y'all know the game. You walk around the chairs until they pull one away. And you keep trying to walk around and walk around, they keep pulling the chairs away. And then you start kind of fighting with your neighbor, with your fellow student. And that's what white supremacy does to us, y'all. They pulling the chairs away and they got us fighting each other. And that's absolutely unacceptable, because we keep, and we can hold each other accountable. And that means holding each other in community. That's what restorative justice is about. That's what transformative justice is about. And we can do that. Because we know that hurt people, that's true. But also that healing people heal people. Right? Notice I didn't say healed people heal people. Because we are all in the process of healing, especially in these United States, under this system of white supremacy. But we will not let that system diminish our dignity nor our integrity. We will not let it diminish our solidarity for one another. We will work to get the resources we need, even in this pandemic, to make sure that folks have food on their table, that they have the health care that they need, and that we have the resources we need. And we will hold each other accountable. Each and every one of us is more than the worst mistake that we have made. Each and every one of us is more than the worst thing we have ever done. But you know what? This country, this city, this county can also be more than all of the dirt that it has done. If we make it so, if we hold each other accountable, we can keep us safe. We keep us safe. We keep us safe. I say. Thank you, Dad. 我想翻譯一下，佢想話向暴力幸存人同埋家人表示慰問。佢喺呢度咧就表示，雖然我哋創造一個世界，讓一個世界人民要承擔責任，但我哋嘅社區亦都要承擔責任。 我哋可以見到一個世界喺呢個世界中，無論係人民的權力或地位點樣，我哋都應該承擔呢個責任。但我哋唔能夠讓白人主義嚟分解我哋、分解我哋、瓦解我哋。所以我哋一定要團結，要明白到，當佢哋削弱咗我哋嘅力量之外咧，佢哋先至係變咗個贏家，我哋都係輸家嚟嘅。所以喺呢個上邊係非常之重要。我哋當我哋嘅長者、我哋受害人受到創傷嘅時候，我哋一定要企出嚟，為佢哋伸張正義，為嗰啲所犯罪嗰啲人受到懲罰。即係好似我犯咗罪，我受到懲罰，但係喺懲罰之間，我哋係咪要得到適當嘅資源，等我哋再能夠重新做人，唔去再做壞事咧？可唔可以重新出嚟為社區服務咧？可以嘅，所以呢一上邊我哋一定要做到。
Từ xưa đến bây giờ khi mình nói we keep us safe, cái đó nghĩa là gì? We keep us safe nghĩa là chúng ta bảo vệ nhau. So I'm trying to say, why do we keep saying we keep us safe? We keep us safe, and I love those words because it translates in every language. You know, nos cuidamos. Chúng ta bảo vệ nhau, chúng ta lo lắng cho nhau. Đấy. So ông Jack Norris mới nói rằng từ cái sự cộng đồng á, mình phải giải quyết những cái vấn đề mà ảnh hưởng cộng đồng của mình. Cái cơ hội này á mà chia rẽ nhau mình sẽ thua, lúc nào cũng sẽ thua. Thì hôm nay mình đến á để cho mình hàn gắn cộng đồng của mình mà mấy năm nay đã chia rẽ với nhau, và dùng cái cơ hội này lấy cái sức mạnh với cái tình thương của tất cả mọi người hôm nay á để cho mình bảo vệ nhau. Okay. So on that note, up to now we've been, getting worked up, excited, and also holding the pain of those that, have been victims to these violences, gender-based violence, right? And now we would like to introduce Julia Liao from Asian Health Centers to present some comprehensive solutions that are community-based. Cả ngày hôm nay mình chia sẻ những cái câu chuyện buồn và những cái chuyện mà những trung tâm làm bây giờ để cho bảo vệ nhau. Thì bây giờ Jennifer muốn giới thiệu Julia Liao từ Asian Health Services để cho cô có thể giải thích những cái dịch vụ họ đang làm bây giờ để làm cho khu vực của mình, Chinatown và Little Sài Gòn an ninh hơn.
Alright, thank you, Jen. Hey everyone, I'm so inspired today by all of you. So I'm going to just say a few words. I'm going to say unity, you say dignity. Okay, so unity. Dignity. Unity. Dignity. Unity. Dignity. So, from Asian Health Services, we are a comprehensive community health clinic. We're just down the street. We've been serving 50,000 patients and our most vulnerable for 47 years. So I just want to give a nod. We've got our staff. We have providers here who've been on the front lines addressing this pandemic. They've been making sure that they get the dental, the mental, the medical services that they need, the critical support in 14 Asian languages. They've been dedicating their lives to make sure that our doors are open and making sure right now that vaccinations are getting into our community's arms. So please give it up for our frontline heroes. And so that's why it is so painful to see how our staff, who are the essential workers, our patients who we care for, have been attacked and they have been assaulted. And so this pain, this hurt, and this trauma, it has been really anguishing. And I have to say that this pain has been exacerbated by the COVID pandemic. That COVID pandemic has really exacerbated the inequities our communities are facing, and it has actually laid bare very much the API community's inequities where we are overlooked and we're ignored. So really, this is the time that we stand together with our families, with our elders, with our individuals, because everybody deserves to be safe, regardless of your income, regardless of your immigration status, regardless of your race or your language. And so today we stand here at Madison Park. Madison Park is a historic landmark where folks from our community, both young and old, have gathered, whether it's Tai Chi, whether it's recreation, but also for advocacy. Asian Health Services, we held our first public charge rally here to advocate for our immigrant community's rights and for their health rights and for their safety. And so today is a really landmark day because we are gathering here across racial lines, across African American, Latinx, indigenous, Asian communities. And so we must remember this moment because we have to remember that in anguish, there must be action. We call for actions, we call for policies that address the immediate needs for our public safety. And at the same time, we have to call for long-term, community-centered solutions that are rooted in what the underlying causes of violence are, but also in language and in culture, and that reflects all of us. So I think that in this moment, let's remember, this is a moment that we need to come together, all of us that need to come together. And so let this moment be the catalyst for us to work within and across our communities, across race and gender and culture. So thank you, everyone, and let's think about unity and dignity. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Julia 講佢係亞建社嘅副行政主任，咁佢Julia咧佢咧就同我哋分享咗下，雖然佢哋係前線工作人員嗰啲幫助我哋嗰啲長者啊，幫助我哋社區喺亞建社度，但係佢哋都受到打擊，佢哋都有受到創傷，佢哋自己啲工作人員都有俾人哋打劫喺呢度覺得非常之唔安全，但係佢亦都好明確嘅表示就話，我哋需要多啲資源去投入我哋個社區度。另外咧，我哋亦都要我點樣去幫助我哋啲醫務人員啊，喺幫助我哋社區，當佢哋治癒啲人哋個創傷嗰陣時候，我哋會點樣唔係單止講係集中喺我哋嘅亞裔，而係我哋喺全部唔同嘅種族上邊社區嘅身上。所以好多謝亞建社一直為我哋社區嘅服務。
Để nói gọn, cô Julia Liao từ Asian Health Services nói, trong hơn 40 năm, cái trung tâm Asian Health Services đem những cái dịch vụ cho cộng đồng Mỹ gốc Á Châu. Và cái trung tâm đó rất là đau lòng thấy rằng mười mấy năm nay cộng đồng mình vẫn bị ảnh hưởng về cái sự bạo lực nhắm vào cái cộng đồng Mỹ gốc Á Châu của mình. Thì bà nói rằng hôm nay á, là cái thời gian á, mình nâng lên những cái đặc quyền của mình để cho bảo vệ nhau, và tất cả chúng ta có trách nhiệm giúp trong vấn đề này. Tất cả chúng ta có vấn đề giúp trong chuyện này, nghĩa rằng á là ai mà chẳng muốn công lý, cộng đồng nào cũng muốn công lý hết á, nhưng mà mình phải dựa vào nhau để cho giúp nhau, để cho mình hàn gắn cộng đồng của mình và có công lý.
Thank you, everyone. So we do have a few solidarity videos that people can have access online. They can look at it. But right now, I do want to show a video where the Santa Cruz warrior, Jeremy Lin, he did a video, in responding some of the challenges that we're experiencing. Can we roll that video from Jeremy Lin?
Guys, this is Jeremy Lin of the Santa Cruz Warriors, and I'm currently in Orlando for some competitions. First off, it's been really heavy on my heart to see what's been going on with the violence, especially towards the Asian elderly. And one thing that I have seen that I'm so proud of is just how I've seen so many people rally together to defend the elderly. And that's something that to me is such a big part of Asian culture, is to respect our elders. And so seeing everybody band together is really, really cool. And racism to me is just something that we have to continue to fight. And I just want to encourage everybody that And I don't want it to only be about Asians, although that obviously is so important to me, but I just really want to encourage everybody that across all racial lines that we continue to fight for equality and justice. And if you guys see anything or hear of anything, helpful information, you guys can always report it or go to stopaapihate.org. So thank you guys so much for this. Let's just continue to protect each other, love each other, serve each other, and to be a community. So I just want to say thank you to you guys, and I want to wish everybody a happy Lunar New Year.
All right, you want to translate that, Jen, a little bit? OK， so 林書豪係響Santa Cruz 金州勇士隊嘅，咁佢亦都同大家講話佢非常之沉迷於呢個暴力事件發生嘅時候咧，佢就非常之都覺得係傷心，尤其係針對亞洲老人的暴力行為。但係我哋已經見到一件令佢覺得驕傲嘅事情，係因為我哋大家可以團結一齊，係為保護我哋嘅老人。喺呢上邊咧，我哋見到亞洲文化嘅重要係點樣去尊重我哋嘅長輩，係呢度係我哋都係應該一齊去做嘅。咁另外佢又想講，如果大家遇到咩暴力嘅事情咧，或者喺仇視上邊嘅事情咧，你可以去上網或者喺其他個機構嗰度去反映，就喺Stop AAPI Hate STOPAAPIHATE.org。咁佢希望大家可以互相保護，互相彼此相愛，相互服務社區。咁多謝林書豪。
Nãy đó là ông Jeremy Lin, ông đánh bandy đội Santa Cruz the Warriors, Santa Cruz Warriors, và ông nói rằng hôm nay ông không có dịp đến để tham gia, nhưng ông làm cái video để cho mọi người biết rằng ông rất là cảm ơn cái sự hành động của tất cả mọi người đến hôm nay để cho làm chung với nhau, bảo vệ nhau. Và trong cái thời gian này á, ông nói rằng nếu mà có người nào bị ăn hiếp á, thì xin gọi API Stop Hate. Và ông nói rằng cái này không phải là cái vấn đề sự bạo lực đối với Á Châu không, nhưng mà những chuyện mà xảy ra với cộng đồng Á Châu cũng ảnh hưởng những người khác, thì mình nên dùng cái thời gian này để cho hàn gắn một lần nữa những cái liên hệ của mình với nhau.
And as we closing out, it's like it's you and I, right?
You and I?
You and I, TY. I think that spells unity, right? And this is what we're about. It's about unity.
That's right.
And so, right now, look, I'm just gonna keep it real, right? All eyes are on us, right? All of a sudden, right? The media, locally, nationally, internationally, like all eyes in Oakland, all eyes in San Francisco, all eyes on the violence that's happening. But when is it ever they put all eyes on the great things that we're doing in our community? What about all the organizations, even without resources, they step up, try to serve our people? What about those organizations? What about all eyes on the white supremacy and the structural racism that continue to divide and conquer us? What about that? So we're here together. It's just about how do we center our survivors of violence. When something happened to an elder or a community, regardless, we got to stand up and speak up, right? And we have to hold people accountable. Hey, look, man, if I messed up, I want people to check me about that, right? And so we need to check that, but we need to check the systems too, right? Because they're the one who pit us against each other. They're the one who's not giving us all the resources that we need. Look, if you don't know this, I'm going to share this little fact with you real quick, right? In national philanthropy, this is what I'm talking about, national philanthropy with trillions of dollars, 0.3% of its money goes to AAPI communities. 0.3, let me see, 0.3 does not have, I know I'm not fitting into the minority myth, my math is not that good, but I think it's less than 1%, right, of the dollars goes to our community. Why is that? So that's something that we need to challenge. So as we move forward, I just want to say this real quick, right, Jen? Tomorrow, there's going to be an action and a rally that is in supporting what's happening today, right? In San Francisco at 1 o'clock, Civic Center Plaza. We're gonna hear some of the folks out in Frisco to talk about some of the challenges and solutions and talk about some of the solidarity work that they're doing, and then we can do it this cross-bay regionally. So it's not about, oh, they took care of Frisco, we took care of Oakland. It's about how do we do it together regionally, statewide, nationally. That's what we're talking about.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Eddie. UNRTY.
Yeah, that's right.
UNRTY.
We are party.
All right, we got a brother from Frisco out here repping and supporting, and I'm just gonna translate what Eddie just said one more time. Là hôm nay mình đến hôm này á để cho không dùng sự kỳ thị để đối phó kỳ thị. Mình dùng cái tình yêu thương và cái sự đóng góp để cho hàn gắn cộng đồng chúng ta. Và buổi họp báo ngày hôm nay á chứng tỏ là có nhiều cộng đồng lo cho cộng đồng của mình. Và bây giờ trong cái phút bây giờ tất cả nước đang nhìn Oakland, tất cả thế giới đang nhìn Oakland. Tại sao? Tại họ hỏi tại sao cộng đồng Á Châu mình bị ăn hiếp như vậy, tại sao không có ai bảo vệ mình. Nhưng mà Eddie nói rằng không có ai để ý tới cái chuyện cái cộng đồng mình làm chung với nhau, không có ai thấy cái gốc rễ của sự tội phạm, không có ai thấy là chính phủ của mình không có lo cho di dân. Thì Eddie vì tất cả mọi người đã nói chuyện hôm nay nói rằng mình phải chú ý không phải chỉ cái tội phạm, nhưng mình phải tìm cách để cho giải pháp và đầu tư trong những cái dịch vụ để cho giúp tất cả cộng đồng của mình. Rồi một lần nữa, mỗi người ở đây hôm nay á, đều có sự trách nhiệm để cho giải pháp cái sự bạo lực và đang ảnh hưởng cộng đồng của người Mỹ gốc Á Châu. Và những người hôm nay tới hôm nay á, để cho hứa và làm chung với nhau á, để cho mình hàn gắn cộng đồng của mình. Thank you.
Hey Jen, so we do want to ask everybody to, you know, take care of yourselves, right? Continue to focus on your health. Let's overcome this pandemic together. But that doesn't mean that you can't go support our small businesses, right? To show them love. And that doesn't mean, right? It doesn't mean that you can't just say, man, what's up, man? We're in this together, right? And so those are important things that we need to do. And it's more important for us to cultivate and continue to build relationship with the African American community, right? To let them know that, hey, we're here with you, right? Because, you know, if you're safe, we're safe. If you're housed, we're housed, right? So it's not either or. It's not a zero-sum game, right? So we need to know that. So just real quick, for all my elders and for all my people, you know, that who may not understand the English, I just want to say to our elders, like, 響我哋社區啲長輩啲同胞，任何人受到創傷，我哋都應該企出嚟，為你哋嘅安全着想，為受害人爭取適當嘅資源，能夠康復，能夠治癒，係。因為我哋有一個安全嘅社區，要靠全部大家啲力量，唔係個人嘅力量。我哋亦都唔應該俾人哋分壓我哋，用種族嚟分壓我哋，分散我哋。咁樣我哋先至就算得到我哋嘅保障，人哋得唔到，其他社區其他種族得唔到佢哋嘅保障，對我哋嚟都唔係一個好嘅事情嚟嘅。所以喺呢個新嘅一年，我哋要好好地注意我哋嘅健康，要克服呢個疫情。咁希望我哋能夠繼續支持我哋嘅小生意，全部啲響唐人埠啊，響小西貢啊，響唔同我哋亞裔社區嗰啲唔同嘅小生意，我哋都要支持佢哋。多謝大家。
I also want to thank the people who have come here today to share their stories, and the survivors of the incidents that we're seeing, that we hear you, we see you. Cho tất cả những người mà đến nói hôm nay để chia sẻ cái chuyện mà xảy ra với họ, mình đứng hôm nay để cho tỏ cái lòng thông cảm và hiểu biết và sẽ làm chung với nhau để cho mình không có cái chuyện đó xảy ra thêm. Và rất là khó, và cảm ơn tất cả mọi người cho cái sự hy sinh để đến hôm nay, từ Alameda, từ San Francisco, từ tất cả vùng Bay và khắp nước đến để cho tham gia hôm nay. Và ngày mai á, sẽ có một cái buổi họp giống như hôm nay ở San Francisco. Người nào mà rảnh á, xin qua bên San Francisco. Thì bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp thúc và mong rằng mọi người ấy đi qua bên phố Tàu hay qua bên Little Sài Gòn để cho ăn uống và nhớ rằng mình bảo vệ nhau.
All right, so we're going to finish up and closing out. I think what better way to finish out with the same chant that we started with, right?
Thì trưa nay mình nói rằng we keep us safe, nghĩa rằng chúng ta bảo vệ nhau. Thì bây giờ mình sẽ nói một lần nữa. We keep us safe. We keep
us safe.
We keep
us safe.
We keep
us safe.
We keep
us safe.
We keep
us safe.
We keep
us safe.
Happy Lunar New Year, everyone, and happy Baptismal Month. We keep us safe. We love one another. Thank you for all of the organizers. I do know what a wonderful drummer you are. Keep it going.
All right, let's do the drumming. Even though we don't have the firecrackers, we don't have the line, but we have our powerful women drummers. This is not the end, this is only the beginning. So let's go in peace and let's show some love.